And we're live. Wing, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put another coat of clear dope on it. And it'll be another boring day of doping, sanding, painting, watching, drying.
BSing.
Here's
We're
the
getting
soda.
the tissue. Oh, I can't drink that. That's Pepsi. Um,
Gotta show them.
we're getting the tissue on these test strips. They're all marked in 1-inch pieces. We're doing them as a whole piece, and then we'll cut them up into the test strips. But we got our 4 different kinds of test strips here. They got 3 coats of dope on the top coat now. 4 bottom coats, 3 top coats. Going to get 1 more top coat. And then we'll cut them up and let them dry real good. Cut them up and see what happens from there. Do our test. But probably won't do a test till next weekend. Give them plenty of time to dry so they get their, full shrinkage. And
Well, what happens is, if you were to do a test on them now, they'd be rubbery.
well, yeah, it'd be inconsistent probably. You got to keep the variables down. So. And it's about 95% humidity out here today, so things aren't drying very fast.
Perfect day for spraying clear.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? I gotta take them pockets out of there. I certainly don't want to glue in my gear doors.
You're gonna have to go and get more pop before you.
We got 3
Yep.
watchers, 1 thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Like, subscribe, share the videos. Become a paid member. I will, when I go home tonight, because tomorrow's a holiday, I'll do another members video, because I've got it figured out how to do it. I had a hard time. See, the videos that I have are in MOV format, and for some reason my computer doesn't like MOV. I have to convert them to MPG or MP4 before I can bring them into my editing software. So it's just a large pain. Same size.
Yep.
Which is fine. I just found
I
that
thought they only made, they don't make a half. I don't think they make one in between this and the smaller ones.
Okay, we got that out. Better take this out. The wingtip weight box glued in there.
How much dope you got on that rudder, fin and rudder?
3 coats. 3 coats on everything. This is the 4th coat here on the wing. Now this today could go really, really good or really, really bad.
Yeah. It is what it is.
flaps separate. Sorry for the boring action, but that's part of model airplane building is repetition, waiting for stuff to dry, so on and so forth. Put it on, take it off. I'm getting a helping hand on the sanding, that's good. I'm glad I didn't try to tissue this last night because the extra day taking it over there and putting the superfill on the wingtips helped. I missed a spot on the trailing edge over there, but I'll have to do that after I cover it. We'll do it with the green putty.
Yeah, you gotta have a certain amount of dry time too, that just lets them extra fuzzies come up between sanding.
I didn't sand this until, what was it, when we talked, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
Yeah, about 3:30.
So while you guys were sleeping, I took a nap and then I woke up and started sanding. A week's worth of sanding into one evening.
Yeah, we were talking at 3:30 this morning on the phone. He was busy sanding.
What happened was I laid down and took a nap, and I woke up, and I thought the clock said 20 minutes after 9 when I usually come here, and I go, oh shit, I'm late. I called him to let him know I was going to be late, and I let it ring 2 times. I go, oh shit, the clock, I read the clock wrong, so I hung up. By then he knew I was awake, called me back, started sanding.
Because I was awake. I was sitting in the garage when he called.
Round the clock model airplane building. Normally during the weeknights, you know, that wouldn't happen.
I go to bed at 9 o'clock anyway, so as I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning.
This one stayed straight. Of course, this could be the bent one, and it could have come back to straight after it dried up yesterday.
Yeah, could have.
Had a slight warp in one of these flaps, which is not a big deal. You cover it. It's going to be changing shape all the way up through cure. Cover it and then steam it if it's not straight. Yeah, there's no place to. No place to set nothing. And it's got a little slight whoop in it, but it'll come out. Not a problem. I think the clear could have had a little more white in it.
Yep, you can tin it however much you want. But just remember, the more you tin it, the more extra weight you're adding.
Yeah. Another thimble full of white ain't gonna add a lot more weight.
All right, 70 ounces.
Yeah, right.
A little bit here, and a little bit there, and a little bit there. Let's beef that up. I won't grind that little bit out of there because it don't weigh much.
Let's see if we got any chatters. 7 watchers, 2 thumbs up. Hello, our built up flaps, they're built up, Craig. Oh, the Nobler is over there. Yep, these are built up flaps. 1/4 ounce a piece. Or they were a little over 1/4. Usually I can get, if I can get 3.5 pound wood, I can build a sand a set of flaps, solid set of flaps to 1/4 ounce, and these built up ones were a little bit heavier. Nothing I can do because I didn't have any. All the wood suppliers are hoarding the light wood for themselves. I know that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so what's been going on for eons? Same stuff. They buy $3,000 worth of wood and pick out all the cherry stuff and sell the rest.
Yep. Looks like we might have to do that. Because you know the wood buyers, Hunt and this Okie Air guy and Tom Moore, they're not building with heavy wood.
No, they got a product to sell. They're trying to make their stuff look.
I need to get with the free flight guys, I guess.
Trust me, if you got a name and you're ordering from somebody and they know who you are, you got a reputation or anything like that, you get better pick than your normal Joe that goes in and calls for that special order too. Happens all the time.
Oh, we will get some good wood. Most guys aren't willing to pay for it. If it's $5 a sheet, okay, great. So what? But it better be what I want. Because if it ain't what I want, it ain't worth $1 a sheet.
We were told that the contest balsa wood that these guys are ordering in is coming in at 7, 8, 9 pounds.
That ain't contest wood. That's
That ain't contest wood, no.
boat wood.
Well, you know they went from 4 to 5 pound for contest wood, or 5 pound and less for contest wood, and then went to 4 to 6 pound, and now I think it's 4 to 5 pound. Now it went to 4 to 6 pound. Now I think it's 4 to 8 pounds. What they're classifying as contest wood. Bull crap. You can flare. I'm not gonna flare these buttons in. You can do that.
Yeah, we're gonna super fill them after the tissue's on.
You're gonna leave them like that. You're not gonna grind that wood.
Now they get super filled in and sanded after it's tissued. If you don't, you'll dig holes in it. I mean, you could spend 100 hours going around them with a file, but just as easy to tissue it and harden up the wood there and sand it in. So the wing has 4 coats of dope on it now. 3 yesterday, 1 today. I guess I could put another coat on. I don't know. What do you think?
It takes at least 4 coats for your base to get any kind of buildup for gluing your sheeting down. Been trying 3 for years, and I stuck with 3 coats for a base coat for a long time, and I don't know. All of a sudden, it just quit. 3 coats quit working. So I don't know whether they diluted the
glue
and the dope or what, whatever's in there. I quit sticking as good, nevertheless.
This is the first coat in the trailing edge here. I forgot to do that yesterday. Okie dokie. My monster rudder, that looks good. I'm glad this wasn't covered this morning. I had the fuselage, I turned around, and the propeller of my high roller went right through one of these. I'm glad it wasn't covered.
Yeah.
Because you know how puncture resistant Jap tissue is.
Got some strength to it, but it's not puncture resistant. None of this tissue paper is.
Polyspan, no. I found a new balsa supplier in Australia. He quoted me. Oh, shoot. Oh, I didn't want to delete it. Damn. Sorry, I deleted that message, Craig. For some reason, this stupid phone.
Type it back in.
Yeah, type it back in, please. God, I hate this, working with this phone. Stupid shit. Hopefully I didn't delete you off the channel. Anytime something like that happens, it's by accident, because trying to do that shit on the phone. Aggravating. Because if you found a new supplier in Australia, we'll buy from Australia if he's got the good
Well,
stuff.
I don't know if you will, because the shipping charges would be astronomical. Be more than probably the doggone wood cost. That's a problem with everybody's fighting about trying to get supplies over there to them from the United States and everything.
Yeah, he says postage will kill us. Polyspan Aura silk span. No, I don't use polyspan. It takes too much dope to fill. I've done it. You know, I've made some airplanes with polyspan. Yeah. John is doing a test with no polyspan. It takes too much dope to fill.
It's medium weight silk span, lightweight silk span, Japanese tissue, and carbon fiber veil. We done it in sheets to try to keep it from warping up. We're going to cut them down into 1-inch wide strips, 8 inches long. It's been put on just like you would if you covered your airplane with it. So there's 4 coats of base dope put down, sanded, and applied wet, you know, just like you would on your airplane, and then 4 coats for a top coat. And then we're going to let it dry, because that's your typical base when you start to apply paint. Give or take a coat of dope, and I'm not so sure a coat of dope adds that much more strength to it, but it just fills. We're not looking for filler or anything. We're just looking to test the materials, the veil and the silk spans and such. So
Actually, what the test is to prove that carbon fiber is nothing.
it's good grain filler, surface hardener.
There
I
won't
mean,
be,
that's our opinion, but
there won't be any strength to that veil.
unless you douse it in a matrix of epoxy or something like that, even, I mean, your dope's acting like the epoxy would in its own way, but if you put tissue on with epoxy, it'd be a lot stronger dope too, so. But we'll see. You know, like veil, you really can't sand it until you get 3 or 4 coats of dope on it. That's got 4 coats of dope on it, and it really sucks it up, man, let me tell you. It still looks pretty fuzzy, and if you was to sand that very much at all,
It'd come off.
you'd be through it. This is 2/10 carbon fiber veil, which is typical of what guys covering their airplanes with. I mean, I left the tissue hang over, even though I marked all the pieces on what's what. I just left the tissue hang over, so there's absolutely no denying what is on each piece of wood, and we'll trim that off in the test stages of it when we strip it down. But we'll let it dry. We won't do this test until next weekend. Just for a simple fact, we want this to really dry real good. I put on four coats of dope yesterday and 4 coats of dope today, and I just want to let it. It's 94% humidity. It's not dry. It's very, it's 75 degrees, almost 80 degrees, but it's so much humidity, it's not drying very good.
You might put on a couple extra coats during the week.
So we'll
Bring it
let
up.
it really dry good.
Sand them, light sand them 320, and then put on a couple more coats.
Not gonna make any difference. I'm not looking to test the paint hardness. I haven't quite decided how we'll do this, whether we'll block up each end and put weight in the center of it, or, clamp one end into a vise or something and put weight out on the end of it and keep adding weight until it breaks, or
Lost foam
how we'll
cradle,
do it.
you can build 20, 30 wings out of, whatever, as long as you take care of them. Here I'm not really taking care of them because I'm doping on them. But yeah, lost foam wing cradle, you can build a ton of wings out of them. And if you want to make it really last, you paint them with polyacrylic or white glue or something like that. And that'll make them really last.
That does work good, because when you're sanding all those ribs in, that's where you do it, because you sand each individual rib on a foam chunk, and you can really, especially like on the thin part, the trailing edge, when you're sanding that balsa wood off on the trailing edge, you can really eat into it. So it's advisable to paint them with something like that to harden that foam up.
You know what? That soda that you had there,
Was a Pepsi.
oh, I thought it was a Dr. Pepper.
There's a Dr. Pepper in the bottom of the drawer where you got that from. But anyway, as we were saying, it's just a, I don't know, little experiment, because everybody wants to say this stuff adds strength and stuff, and I mean it adds strength over nothing. But
And we're going to prove it wrong.
if you can just rip a piece of carbon fiber bale, just take a piece of it and rip it, and you can see how light it is, how easy it rips opposed to silk spin. That's sort of a no-brainer. But it's a good grain filler, and it hardens. This is our belief. It hardens the outside surface of your wood pretty good. I can't say it's any better than tissue. I think tissue's better in one sense, that it's not as porous. Well, maybe a couple senses. It's not as porous, and it isn't black. And remember, when you're covering your whole airplane in something black, you got to cover that black with your paint, which, what's that do? It's harder to cover black than it is to cover wood grain or an off-white color or whatever. So got to use more paint.
I was going to carve in this here, but I did tissue it all, that center section.
Oh, double it? Yeah, I don't think you need to. If they break, they always break at the side of the fuselage or out at the landing gear area.
Okay, that's the side we're going to tissue first.
Here, do this. I'm tired of watching you dink around with that. Pick that wing up.
I'm going to have to go over this little sandpaper. It picked up some shit up there. I took the horn off anyway.
Eagle decals came out pretty good. A little bit.
Decals that you waited 20 minutes for.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I actually like the laser ones a little better because they're brighter. These are a little darker. Now we could have done that too if we had the extra decal paper. We did. We were working on a piece of decal paper that was about 6 inches square. Is all we had. Sort of funny, and we're trying to, be as
Frugal.
frugal as we possibly could. And we had none to waste. We took that little piece, 6-inch piece, and cut it into three pieces. And we got 6 decals out of it. So, and we had one of every 2 of them screwed up. So we ended up with actually only 3 decals that were usable. I guess you probably could have used the ones that must have been a piece of dirt in the rollers or something on there, and it come through the inkjet printer, and that drug a line, just a straight line right down through one side of it. Probably just a piece of dust or something on the wheels. It wasn't in the printing. The printing was fine.
I'm gonna have a spot right there. I have to putty. Right there. Got one on the top. The way it goes. Get
Right.
that piece of tissue out from under here. Oh wait, yeah. Is that?
It's under that side.
Yeah, but it's not big enough for a wing. Okay, set it down.
No, that's for your fin.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You're gonna need some Windex.
Yeah, we'll need Windex.
What did I do with it? I had, there it is.
Now this is free flight Japanese tissue, extremely expensive. The shipping was ridiculous, came from England. Because it's 30 inches long, which they don't make Japanese tissue 30 inches long. And the guy who makes this stuff ain't making it no more.
Yeah, the way they were talking, it sounds to me like he might have passed away. I don't know. It's hard to say. Hey, if he can make it, somebody else can make it.
It weighs nothing.
All depends on how much they want to.
If you're
Probably.
ham-fisted, don't bother. What side looks shiny to you? I think it's this side. Yeah.
Did you say something?
No.
So instead of writing out how to tissue, you can watch. I heard there's some posts on Facebook on how to silk span that write out, I don't know. It's only been done about 10 million times. Yeah, it looks like it might go around the corner. We have the Windex. Here goes nothing.
Is that on your surface real good? Might as well check your
Is what on
view.
my server?
The view.
Oh yeah. Okay, you guys can see okay there, right? Good morning, Gary. Okay, Japanese tissue, weighs nothing, very fragile. If it doesn't work, I'll rip it off and we'll use silk span. Not wet enough. There's where the wrinkle's going to be, right on that block.
Yeah,
which
it'll
is,
be right up in there. Well, if it's on the block, it won't bother you.
yeah, no big deal.
Putting those blocks in there helps those wingtip shapes.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I did it. I knew that this would be a problem.
Some wingtip shapes are really a pain in the butt to cover. They're just their shape induces a wrinkle. Trying to get
Here, you
this
better
stuff.
have that battery and plug the phone in, or else it'll go dead.
I was trying to get this stuff out of your way to where you're not dousing everything. You don't want to douse.
Okay, we're gonna plug this in, only 37 minutes in, so it should be all right. Okay. Battery on the floor. Okay. Yeah, if I got a problem with this, it'll come off quicker than shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna mess with it. I mean, I'd like to get it on there.
Want me to hold that end up and you can start working it from that end out towards the tip?
Yeah, I guess I better. You know what? I need to probably move the camera over to the other side because I'm going to be standing right here, blocking it. Okay. We got 10 people watching with 4 thumbs up.
Hold it up.
Yeah, this is delicate shit.
When it's wet, you know, as everybody knows, it silk spans. It wants to stretch and everything else.
Okay, let it pull some tension on it. There you go. Yeah. I'm not sure that's helping.
Well, if you don't want me to do it, tell me.
I don't want to hit it with any dope until I know I can get it on wrinkle free, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot of area to be covering with Jap tissue.
Yep.
Japanese tissue doesn't shrink near as much as regular silk span does.
It doesn't shrink at all.
It relaxes and then it tightens back up to its original state. So you really got to get as much out of it as you can. And you do put it down and stretch it ever so slightly, but you try to stretch it too much and it'll just fall apart.
Well, let's hope that this is going to be worth it. They put it down with glue sticks sometimes. White glue sticks.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've never really done it. Windex works fine. Yes, it's got soap in it. No, it doesn't seem to affect anything. Been doing it. Sparky's been doing it for a long time, and I just recently sort of started using it too, and it seems to work just fine.
I guess this is going to work. This is the hardest tip to do, the inboard, because of the wire.
Starts getting dry on you, just spritz it a little bit more and just keep working it. And just like Sparky said earlier, don't quit working it until you get it right. Don't try to put dope on it too soon.
If it ain't perfect, it ain't right.
Take your time. You're not in a hurry here.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, if I don't like it, I can rip it off in about 2 seconds, and it's ripping right there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to. There we go. I mean, that would probably.
Little teeny imperfections you can get out in the sanding stages, and if you happen to sand through it, just like with anything, you happen to sand through silk span or whatever, you can put a little patch over it, rip the patch, don't cut it.
Got air bubbles in it.
I can hear it. You probably can't hear it on the thing, but I can hear how softly he's touching that stuff. That he's barely even touching it.
I don't recommend using Jap tissue to an inexperienced guy. It's just
No.
this is the hardest material to cover with. Double lot silk span will do your job just fine.
I think you need to come like this right here.
There's a spot right there that I think is going to give me an issue. It's a piece of grain sticking up.
Yeah, that's right on an edge.
Yeah, so that'll get a silk span patch. That's all right. Got it though.
Yep, it's looking really nice. It got a little foamy bubbles all over it. If you guys are seeing that in the video, there's from the soaps that's in this Windex. But it's looking really good.
Well, I guess I can dope it down.
Are you gonna work on any of this anymore?
Well, I need to get some dope on it to stick
You
it.
need to stick that stuff down. Yeah. There's some air bubbles.
Okay, this is the first dope I put on the Jap tissue. You can use acetone to stick the tissue down.
Dope thinner.
Thinner, yeah.
Anything, it just eats through it and softens the stuff up that you put on as their base to stick it, because this is really, you're using this as, your dope as glue right now. If this was tissue, medium or regular tissue, lightweight tissue even, I'd be taking my hands and really rubbing on this, but since it's Since it's Japanese tissue, it's not too advisable to be rubbing a lot on it until you get a good base down.
Now we got to go around the wingtip, make it look good.
Yeah. Want some scissors?
Yeah.
It's where it pays to have some nice, sharp scissors. I emphasize sharp. I got a pair of scissors that I only use on silk and silk span and stuff like that.
Here, I'm going to pull. You do the doping. Get this corner right here. All the way up to the... Okay, go around the perimeter of the tip there. If it ends up with wrinkles like that, it'll get cut off with silk span.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pack it on there. Need a heat gun, I think. Some scissors. I think your scissors are bigger than mine.
You want a heat gun?
Yeah. Blade. We're gonna try get a heat gun on this so I get the wrinkles out. There's a couple wrinkles. I need to dry the dope to get it to stick in order to get these wrinkles out. Because if I can't get it perfect, it'll come off. I ain't building no airplanes with wrinkled up covering. Now on the solid wood, if you got wrinkles, you don't worry about it because you just sand them off and redope over it. Okay, I'm gonna put dope on it. I'm gonna pull it down and you run the heat gun. I'll do it like I do polish fan. Except this don't shrink.
Yeah, well, it just dries it out and makes it go back to its normal. Some cordage here.
It's got a wrinkle right here too. I think that'll come out though with the heat. Get it up there close. Get that glue drying.
Might take a little bit more dope on it because I really couldn't press very hard.
That came out good. That came out good. Turn the heat on. My fingers start to burn, I'll move them.
Need some dope right there in that corner.
Want some CA. I guess buzz over the whole wing. We got, there it goes. Perfect. Right up in there. I'll have to get a coat of dope on it because it'll relax again.
Yeah, and then they'll be shrinking it back up with a gun again.
Yeah, that spot's gonna give me a problem. I'll hit it one time with sandpaper, be right through.
Yeah.
Let's see what the chatters have to say. Seems odd, but I missed why your clear dope is white looking. The reason that it's white looking is I added white pigment to it to cut down on, to start bringing it up to a white color for the white base. Yeah, it's got water all the way out to there. That spot there sticks out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Green pooty. There's a lot of water on that.
Well, I'm going over the areas that didn't need it to pull it out.
Yeah, by the time it's ready to be painted white as a base, it'll already have the tint of white in the wood. John figured that out. I never used to do that, but it sounds logical to me. Anything I can use less on, that works for me. And the reason why Japanese tissue instead of silk span, it takes less dope to fill Japanese tissue. In 3 coats of clear dope, that tissue will be ready for color. And silk span, it takes 3 coats and then sand it and then 3 more coats and maybe it's ready for color. Painting on Jap tissue is like painting on wax paper. Right there in that corner right there. wet up there.
If it wasn't so humid out, this would dry a lot faster.
Yeah, wrinkles are coming back in the tips.
Yeah, they'll come right back out again when you do this. Probably not going to get them to stay out of there completely until you get a coat of dope on it and let the dope shrink up. But there's nothing major in it.
No, it came out real good. A lot better than I thought it was going to. The Japanese tissue is just so hard to work with.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to work wingtips and corners and stuff.
I don't know why wrinkles keep coming back right here. Oh, it's wet, that's why.
Yeah, I'm not drying it real fast.
I guess we could set it out in the sun.
So much humidity in the air. It's almost 90% humidity out here, and it's not raining. This thing, maybe just let it dry for a while. See how it just naturally does its thing.
Well, that's Japanese tissue, and it wasn't written out, it was shown. Seems odd, yeah. So about a teaspoon or tablespoon or just a paint stick of white went into the clear dope to turn it a whitish color. Let me stick it out in the, I'm gonna walk out in the sun for a second. Keep them entertained for a minute. Yeah, all the wrinkles came back.
Yeah, well, they'll work their way. They'll be out of there when it's done. This nobler was covered with a lightweight silk span. Also, I normally use medium weight, but we're trying to cut down on overall weight of the airplane, so we went with lightweight Brodeck lightweight tissue, and it came out nice. You know, the tissue typically is just a carrier for your paint, and your paint is basically plastic, and that's what gives everything its strength, is the paint. And so consequently, it you know, the carrier base, you know, of course, the harder the carrier you got, the better off you are. We'll turn this back around here and sit and watch the pop can or something. Sorry guys, but he's out in the sunlight right now, and I'm not in the process of doing anything. I was working on our test strips for lightweight cloth and carbon fiber veil and all that stuff, and they're drying right now. We're going to let them dry for all week long, and then we'll come back and
Don't let wrinkles come back.
do our thing with it.
Were you running heat or were you just running cold air?
I was running hot, as hot as it'd go. I didn't hold it in position any place. I didn't want to burn a hole in it. I say right now is the time. If we have a problem using this Jap tissue on this thing, we'll strip it off and go with lightweight. It's only tacked around the edges right now, so if it gives us a lot of problems, now's the time we'll find out and do our thing with it. Like I said, it's 90% humidity out here, and we're in the open air. As soon as you hit that with dope, it's going to bag out. And it will for, I don't know, I always, even my finishes when I get to into the color paints, you know, and I put color paints on there, it's still bagging a little bit on it, and you know, I'm stretching it pretty good, putting the coverings and stuff on it, but it's nice that if it's bagging out to do it with you're at the spray gun stages. Because right now, you put anything on there right now with a brush, and you could easily put a dent in it that might not come out. When you do this Japanese tissue and you're putting your first couple coats on it, you're sort of floated on there, sort of like you used to have to do silk, where it wouldn't go through, or you know, silk you paint it upside down and stuff. But you gotta sort of load your brush up and drag it along and just let it sort of lay on the top of it.
I don't like it. It's not gonna.
I don't know if that's gonna come out of there.
It ain't.
It's pretty dry, isn't it?
Yep.
I said this is a big experiment. Just tried to save some weight. It's $100, $125 experiment.
Yep. Well, guys, I don't like it. We got it on there, okay, but it's bagging up, and if it's bagging up at this stage, it'll be bagging up at the paint stage. So let's rip it off and double out.
The problem with this stuff is when it's wet and you go to pull it, you can't pull on it at all. It'll just fall apart in your hands.
Where's that spot? Right there. We'll get that spot before it covered again.
Set that on that spot so you remember where it's at. I can't really feel it, but
It's
I don't
right
know
there.
why it did that.
It did that because it wanted to.
Yeah, always something, Sally.
Okay, got it. Okay, we tried the Japanese tissue. I'll use the Jap tissue on the stab elevator rudder and stuff, but it didn't like the open bays very much. This it came off clean. I didn't.
Yeah. I don't have any dope on it, really. It's just enough to stick it down. It's tough stuff to work with. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Well, here's $15 in the trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Take two. I know the silk span will work though.
Yeah. Pinholes and all.
Yeah, it won't be no pinholes. Only John gets pinholes.
We'll see. I'm not the only one. Guarantee you that.
Hey, get the light out of there. Medium.
I don't know what this is. I think it's light, but
Okay, whatever.
I think this is your sheets that you set out. No, it didn't. This is just a
No, they're-
bag of it.
Sheets I set out were in the, now, let me get this. Ye of little faith, you guys. Silkspan has a shiny side too.
Yeah, sure does. It's your side. Yep. Yep, it's this side.
Yeah. Oh, there goes.
Can we get
There goes
a
$15.
whole wing? Cut that down the center? I think you can, barely.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you think? You look at it.
Grab that tissue. It just went over there, okay, so she don't step on it.
Last time I'm putting it up there.
We'll put it away here in a second. Just a light breeze coming through here, wanting to move this tissue around here. Hang on to that side. Be great if we can get it out of one pack of tissue,
Yeah. Should be if you get.
because the flaps and stuff, we're getting jap tissue. Well, that didn't work, guys, and I apologize, but we had to try it.
Somebody that's more skilled with Japanese tissue might be able to do it, but
Jerry Phelps does it.
yeah. Well, I, for one, my patience starts running thin. Comes
Same,
to dealing with it.
Same process as before. Let's do it right here. This will go quick though. Wet it out. This is Brodak Light, double aught, or whatever they want to call it. Pull the wrinkles out.
And if you're using medium silk span, it's even easier yet. This stuff still rips pretty easy.
Yeah, I won't have to worry about this bagging up.
Well, for one, you can stretch it a little bit more. But
Well, these live shows sure are good for mistakes.
oh yeah, you get to see all of them. They stick out like a sore thumb.
It's all right. It really wasn't a mistake. It was an experiment.
If you're not making mistakes, if you're not doing stuff that messes up, you're not trying. So
You're not doing nothing. If you ain't
Not
making
doing
mistakes,
nothing.
you ain't doing nothing.
But like he said, yeah, that was really just 100% experiment. And I did say something about it being $100 mistake, but that tissue paper will go on the fuselage and the stab, elevator rudder to smaller pieces, so it's not a total waste.
Pretty good. Yeah, except we're here. Now, unlike the Jap tissue, you can force the dope through it. Now, I'll guarantee that this won't come off like, like the
No.
Jap tissue.
Nah.
It'll be a struggle to get it off if something screws up. Getting them nice hairs in there. At least that spot is gone.
Yeah. Just remember, new paintbrushes are a curse.
Okay. So now you got to see a Jap tissue film and a silk span tutorial. Silk span's a lot easier. I wish I would have saw that last night. I mean, I get it out with green putty, but
Yeah, it would take putty anyway. It'd take putty no matter what. You wouldn't have sanded that in
No.
there anyway.
might have to have you heat gun this again to get it to stick down. Okay. You're right. All right. Gotta have a little pain.
Right there where your lead outs are, you probably have to cut it. Sometimes I'll just take that and I'll cut it and make a little slit about every inch and start working it, and it helps to work out the wrinkles in your wingtips. If you got a solid wingtip, it's real simple because you can just cut it, overlap them, lays right down.
Yeah, it's starting to break the silk.
And you gotta watch it when you cut it. You gotta watch it.
Okay. Now I have to get some more dope on it. I think that'll work. You?
Yeah.
I don't know about right here.
Yeah, you'll get that'll come out. That ain't nothing.
Huh?
That ain't much.
See, if you heat back here, it could pull it out over here.
Absolutely, because there ain't nothing attached to any of the cap strips or nothing. So that's the whole thing. You don't want to put anything on the cap strips and make everything in little individual bays. You want that whole piece to shrink as one. And it's still soaking wet, and you can see the water puddling on it.
Yeah, this is, we did it in half the time, it turned out twice as good.
Amazing what a little heavier material do. Makes a big difference.
Usually takes about half an hour, 45 minutes to cover a wing, the whole thing. But, like you said, that was a Jap tissue experiment. Would have been nice to do because it takes such a little amount of dope. And please, I haven't looked at the chat, but don't anybody tell me to put Japanese tissue over the top of this.
I did some of that sometimes. Double covered the wing. I covered the open bay, just the open section first, and then covered with like a lightweight tissue, and then covered the whole wing with lightweight tissue. And that gave me a little more puncture resistance over the open bays, and it worked pretty good. That come right out of there, didn't it?
Yep.
And probably at about the most minimal amount of weight gain that you could get by double covering. You used to be able to get this stuff called mica film. It's super thin plastic, has little hairs embedded on it. And if you could still get it like anything that's halfway decent, you can't get any more. But I cover open bays with that because that'd give a real good puncture resistance, and then tissue for the finish aspect of it, make a really nice finish.
Almost like I knew what I was doing. This blade is dull.
You know, you cut that stuff. I sanded it off myself.
Well, that'll work too, but 320 is not enough to sand with, is it?
Yeah, it'll take it off there. Just take a few more swipes to get it.
It bagged up again right there.
Yeah, it'll do that until every bit of the moisture gets out of it.
But it don't look as bad as the Jap tissue did. Now, here's a secret. Don't put any dope on this until the other side's covered.
Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, well, it's not a given to, I mean, it is to us, but a lot of people watching this will go, all right, we'll just dope right over it. Yeah, it's still damp.
Sort of what you want. You want it to stay damp until you get the other side covered. That's how I see it.
You know, that Jap tissue would have, I probably could have made it work, but wasn't comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You don't want to go all the way through the paint stage and at the end go, oh shit.
Yeah, what did I do? Yeah, I understand that.
We know what silk span does.
Yeah. Somebody that's very accomplished with Japanese tissue is a big difference. You know, that like gave the warning out ahead of time. This stuff is hard to do. That's what I need.
Okay. I need to dope this down real good. Edge. I'll get a camera angle for you guys here in a second. I'm sorry, but I need to do this before moving the camera. Okay. One more time. Let me have that half sheet there. Okay, this is the upside. Pay pretty good attention on to the shiny side of the tissue, because if we don't, it takes more dope to fill. Not quite as bad as polyspan. Polyspan is a disaster if you put the wrong side out on that. Which I have several polyspan videos on my channel. How to polyspan, and I did a continental wing. I did my shoestring wing. I think the shoestring was in 2015, 15 or 16.
It's got a super glue spot in it there that just.
Almost screwed up. Almost started doping before pulling it out. Making movies is hard to think. Hard to keep track of where I'm at.
This ain't a race.
Hmm?
Not a race.
Yeah. Yeah, I glued it down and now I gotta unglue it. That got pretty wet there.
Yeah, I just cut the grass like 2 days ago and it's grown 2 inches, if not a little more.
Gets mad at you.
Yeah. That's one of the things never ending. I need to sharpen lawnmower blades too. Trials and tribulations of home ownership.
When you're doing tips, and especially the inboard tip with the lead out sticking out, it's always a pain in the rear. But you just got to keep lifting and pulling until all the wrinkles are out of it. That's basically with everything on the wing.
Yeah, keep it good and damp. That gives you a little stiction, so when you pull it and stretch it, it sticks and it stays in place.
Well, it relaxes it and you pull it. Work on that center section so I can dope it down.
You got a bunch in there. Is this glued down?
No, it's unglued now.
This stuff just don't allow for any.
Hmm?
Even this stuff is hard when it comes to pulling it.
Got some glue on it.
get it around that push rod.
Nice to have help. Of course, it's nice to have help that knows what they're doing. You can get all the help you want, but
Yeah.
I hope these wrinkles come out. Inboard tip is always the hardest.
Yeah. That's about as good as you're gonna get.
Throw some dope on it. I might have to cut that wrinkle out of it.
Yeah, there's always one that'll wreak havoc on you or two. Yeah, I don't ever do that. I don't hardly ever use a hairdryer on. Don't like that.
I do to get the wrinkles out. Yeah, there's a wrinkle right there.
You know, that's where you hit that with the hairdryer.
I got it. You know, I'll dope this, and any of the wrinkles, it won't come like that wrinkle right there. I'll just make a slit and put another piece of soak span on it.
It'll work them out.
Hmm?
It'll work out. That's a little bit of a wrinkle, but it's really not much because when it all shrinks up, well, that'll come out of there. Still soaking wet.
Let's see what the chatters have to say. Nope, nothing. We got 8 watchers and no chatters. 8 and 6, and I know damn well there's been a whole bunch more people on there. Hit that like button. That's that one with the thumbs up.
Can't stress that enough. There, if you want more dope on that wingtip, that's yours. I don't want a liability on your wingtip. You'll be saying appearance points, you know, God damn it, I only got 17 points. You fucked that wingtip up.
It'll be fine. It's still pretty wet.
Yeah. Something underneath that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, bigger than anything. A little piece of dust.
No problem. It's on the wood. Just so
It's easy.
now, let's see what the other side did. Other side's pretty good. Pretty good. So I'm going to wrap this around and dope it down. Hold on to that.
Hard to make too many mistakes at this stage. That's like big gigantic wrinkles. You don't want them.
If you get a wrinkle, don't worry. It's cut it out and put a patch over it.
And work it as much as you can. Keep it wet before you put any dope on it. That's the biggest thing. Keep working it.
So go back and check the timeline and see when this airplane was started. It's coming on 3 months old now. Should be good. Well, hopefully I can get these wrinkles out of this. I think it'll come out. And with silk spin, you can have a wrinkle over here, heat it up over here, and that wrinkle will go away. The Jap tissue, not so much.
Pretty much shrunk up now.
Except for that one right there.
That won't be a problem. I'd sand on it a little bit if it doesn't come out of there. And
Slid
the
it?
first 3 coats and just slit it and put a little patch on it. Don't cut out the whole area.
No, just a slit. That tip came out pretty nice though, right here. Yeah, I just did that a second ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Probably need to do it out in here then to, like you said, 6 or 8 inches away, a foot away from where you want it.
Pretty wet everywhere.
Yeah, this will let dry. That other side was still pretty soaking wet. And look at it.
Yeah, it's got a little on it.
It's still wet there, you can see it. Wherever it's still wet.
And then when you dope it, it's going to bag up again.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, both that plane and that plane bagged out. I was in white. I had all the white on. It was even bagging when I put the trim colors on. I'm not talking totally bag out. I mean, it just got loose and sort of sag a little bit. And I didn't pay any attention to it. Just let it go. Leave it alone. Don't aggravate it. And shrunk right out of it. And it'll probably bag a little bit when I shoot it clear on it still. But it'll come right back out of it. Sometimes I used to have a old man that told me, he says, don't aggravate the finish. So you aggravate it and then it'll give you heck the whole time.
Hold this up so I can.
So he's like, don't aggravate the thing. Quit working on it. Let it set for a while.
Get some more dope on this.
Oh yeah. Rip it off there.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Under Siege, you remember that? He's got a guard. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's in the freezer. It's like 40 degrees in there. Got a guard. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
beautiful weather out there today.
Yeah, if Jerry was still here, he'd be bugging. Just go flying.
Yeah, I got an airplane. I can just throw it in the car. Not hardly any wind.
What?
Not hardly any wind. Unusual for this time of day around here. Normally doesn't. It's windy all day long until about 6 o'clock at night, and then it just goes dead calm.
I can't believe how much it bagged up here.
Just that dry.
Any more chatters? 7 and 7. Seems yeah, same chat up there. Wuhan.
Wuhan. You know, I always do that, even though that's in there where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, strength.
I just more strength, and it helps seal the wood from any kind of fuel or whatever in that area, since that's sort of the back of the fuel tank compartment.
Well, it's not really, but
Well, I mean, it's isolated from it, but
should a fuel tank ever spring a leak, it could get in there, and then the wing would act goofy. Okay, we'll let that dry, and then we'll do the outboard side bottom. Oh. What?
no, I'm just looking.
I'll get some dope on that.
Still wet. That'll come around.
It'll be fine.
Well, it sure does eat that foam up when you get that wet dope on there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're planning on saving your jigs for lost foam building, don't dope on them. Not a good idea. That wasn't a good lost foam jig anyway.
normally make lost foam jigs out of 2-pound wood or foam. That foam, that wing was cut out of 3/4 pound foam. That's a foam you'd be using in a sheeted foam wing. Not the best subject for making lost foam wing jig out of. Another geo wing.
Oh, I see some pinholes.
Yep, I'm sure there are.
Yeah, but there won't be when I'm done.
Guaranteed. It varies on that silk spin, them pinholes. Some of it's got it in it, some of it doesn't.
That was your silk span. That's the stuff I brought over. It don't matter. I'll get it out. Get the pin heads in there. I think I'm gonna put some dope on that tip and heat it up.
Shrink it up.
Keep wanting to set it back down in there.
And watch it bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Bake that stuff on. And speaking of baking dope,
What?
boiling dope,
Oh yeah.
which is sort of a misnomer because you're really not boiling it, but you double boil it in a double boiler.
It boils. It bubbles.
Oh yeah, you got it in a pan of water in a can.
Yeah.
Heat that stuff up hot. Man, it makes it thin now, let me tell you.
But it's only good for the first coat. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah. Eats into, keeps eating in real fast. But it works.
Maybe I'll go out to this rib here with the dope. See if I do this, it locks it up.
Look at that, here it is, going on 11 o'clock and there's still dew on the cars. How much moisture's in the air.
I wonder if that's the reason why I'm having a hard time getting it dry.
It's 87% humidity and it's 72 degrees or so. Bright sunshiny, no overcast. Just takes longer to dry when it's like that.
It's already getting shiny though.
Yeah, one coat on it.
Okay,
won't.
I'm not gonna monkey with it anymore. We'll do the other side. And paint this trailing edge. So it's got 3 coats on it.
Tell you what, I can never get all the faux pas out of it before this stage. You know, I always end up with something that I end up covering over because I didn't see it.
Like that. That didn't turn out bad, really. Might be okay. No, it won't be. Let's see.
Thought that was on the other side.
You're going to have to change out your batteries.
That one.
Yeah, got one on each side.
Yeah, my last plane, I had that in both of them too. I actually had 3 spots like that in it for some
Change your
reason.
batteries out. John's getting a new voice, so I'll be entertaining you for a minute. Da 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 da.
Don't start. And by all means, don't sing, whatever you do. Good thing I had that unplugged.
Well, these things draw a lot of power.
I guess as many of these batteries as you go through on them.
Didn't come out bad. You'll be fine. Biggest thing is to get 3 coats of dope on it. Don't forget to turn it back on. Yeah, you're not on yet. And no more chatters yet. Got 11 watchers and 8 thumbs up. Hit the like button, guys.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, you're on. You passed. 10 watchers, 8 thumbs. Yeah, that tip's starting to come out now from just sitting. It's even got a slight shine to it.
Yeah, listen, you know, I don't typically mess with them too much. Once I put it on there, I just let them dry overnight and then come back to them the next day.
Okay, let's cut up some more silk span, another piece. Donk.
Yeah, don't dig the tip into it. Don't ask me how I know. It's really nice if you could have 2 tables set up, one for prepping your silk span and one for working off of. We're sort of limited on table space and stuff. Green side up. That's what that landscaper said to his boys when he's out there. Just remember, boys, green side up.
Here, I think it's this side. See what you think.
See, I'm catching it in the sun and candling it from this side, and I can see the shiny real quick.
Yeah, I was right. So, we'll refrain from putting any dope on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking about. I was talking and not paying attention.
You know, we call those brain farts. Everybody's subject to them.
Yeah, but I've been farting lately a lot.
Well, you're not a spring chicken anymore.
I walked to my toolbox at work. And what the hell did I come here for?
For my last 10 years that I was a glazer, I walked around with a notepad or some kind of a board with a notepad on it. And I said, well, here comes the paper glazer. I said, what are you talking about? So you're always walking around with a notepad. You're the paper glazer. I says, no. I says, because I'm working on the 3rd floor. I don't want to walk all the way down to the truck to cut something or get something or do something and forget what the hell I went down there for. Have to go all the way back up and find out. I says, how many extra trips a day do you make up and down? Oh, I make a bunch of them. Well, maybe you better think about carrying a notepad around with you.
But as you can see, doing this silk span is really simple. You don't need a process. I mean, I showed it on the Nobler. I've showed it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. There's probably 40 videos on my channel of silk spanning. It's really simple.
It's the same thing all over and over again. Doesn't matter hardly what matrix you're using, whether it's silk span or poly span or whatever. It's all sort of the same thing.
The poly span is a little different. If you look at my shoestring and Continental how-to poly span videos, it's a little different on the tips. You have to be kind of a monocoater and a silk spanner all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get a real nice job. People say that poly span won't go around a compound corner. Don't know what they're talking about.
Plus, if you want to, you can cover from wingtip to wingtip with that.
It'd be tough to do.
It'd be tough to do, but you could do it.
Yeah.
Because it comes in long sheets of it. Plus, you know, it's so strong that you can just pull the ever-living heck out of it, and you don't have to worry about it breaking on you. And there's all this stuff. Same way with medium silk span. If that was medium silk span, it'd go probably 3 times faster.
Okay, tip. Yeah, I guess I can start doping. I think this airplane's going to take more than a half a quart for silk span, or for substrate.
Put some thinner in it.
It was pretty thin.
50-50. I always put thinner in when I start doing these top coats. Once I get it glued down, 1 coat on it. That's probably why I end up with some pinholes in it, because they're not very thick. Yeah, they typically look a little rough at this stage. This thing, just don't worry about it. As best you can and whatever you can't. Paintbrush will shed.
Yeah.
Said it'll probably shed for a year.
Could put some super glue down in the heel. Well, I figured out how to do this tip without a wrinkle right there. Put the wrinkle up on top of the block there.
Mm-hmm.
Dry a minute, cut that off, flip it over to the other side. Well, that's the way I like to see it. 10 thumbs up and 9 watching. That's very good. The backwards. Yeah. Yeah, still that battery. Already have a hair.
Yeah, gotta get them hairs out of there. You don't want to bury them in there, though. Mess with you later on down the line.
Got a hair right here.
Hopefully they aren't underneath. That one there might be underneath. I don't know.
He'll be fine.
Come out. I don't want to dig at it.
We're still running. Yeah, we're live.
It never happened before, did it? The temperature thing?
Yeah, when it warms up, when it gets hot out, I mean, I might have to turn that temperature thing off. apparently we're off air, but we're still rolling. Let me look here. 4 and 11, so we lost a few viewers. We've been on an hour and 32 minutes. 132 minutes, whatever that is. You know, Jerry was listed as a contact person here in Dayton. I think I'm going to list you as a contact person in case something happens to me at the room there. And you can go in there and get my stuff. I need to give you another number for Chris so you can disperse of it and give her the money, because she's got absolutely no idea what anything's worth. She knows
Yeah, most of the time they don't.
Huh?
Most of the time they don't. Most of the time they've been lied to so many times about how much stuff costs. I wasn't that much. I only paid $20 for that flea market I went to the other day.
There's probably 20,000 in my little apartment there.
The pisser is that when you go get rid of that shit, it's worth pennies on the dollar.
It ain't.
That's sort of well.
You get just you think that, but
Well, you go to those sales, but go to Modelorama and watch them guys sell that shit for nothing.
yeah, well, don't take it to a Modelorama. You don't think my Monato's worth $1,500? It'd sell in a heartbeat. My high roller, a couple $1,000. The Tucker, minimum $750. You can't build them for that.
I know you can't build them, but people, stunt flyers are inherently cheap.
I've had no problem. Every time I wanted to sell an airplane, it takes me a day. All I got to do is put the word out, and
See, that there's different factors that are involved in that. Who built the airplane? Who finished the airplane?
well,
They know that you're noted for light airplanes that are very well finished, and that plays a big part if you're trying to sell an airplane. If they don't know you, you got the same airplane, even if it's light. If they don't know that.
my best flying airplane looks like a rag. The one I'm replacing. My Junar.
Yeah. It's only because it had that problem with it. That the one that's got all the bubbles on it.
Yep.
Something happened back then because I got a plane that had that same stuff in it. Not as bad as your plane. Didn't have the chicken pox like that.
I think it's because it's where it's hanging, the heat. Of course, my Monato didn't have any problems with it.
I don't know. We were having all sorts of problems back then, if you remember right. We were having paint pulling up and tape pulling paint up and all that kind of stuff. for a minute. Doran had a post on there, or no, it was Matt Newman on Facebook. He's painting his new Phoenix. And he found a tape, a thin plastic masking, tape for paint masking that I think he said testers made it. And it's a very low tack tape, and it's stretchy and it goes around corners good.
Yeah, I got 10 rolls of it hanging in St. Louis. Junk.
He
Cheap, but it's junk.
talks high of it. It worked for him. I know this blue fine line tape that we're getting is more tenacious glue wise than the green is, but the green will still pull up paint if you're not careful. I went through a whole spree where I literally rubbed that paint, all 3 coats, through the silk span into the base. I had 4 coats of base on it, and I still had places that it pulled up all the way down to the wood. And I was getting fit to be tied. It was like, heck, I got to the point where I didn't even want to mask something off because I was afraid of what the consequences might be. I don't mind a little mess up here and there and a little smudge, whatever, and have to redo a little area. But when you get into, it pulls up a 6-inch long spot or something, and then again, sometimes I think maybe I wasn't putting enough thinner in it, so I started using a little bit more thinner, thinning it, 60-40 instead of 50-50, and maybe even 70-30, just to make sure I got that penetration through the tissue and into the substrate to glue it down. And I think I've overcome most of that for the most part.
I'm having a heck of a time with this wing. I don't have enough hands. I don't know why this thing went crazy on me. If I get it. That'll get it.
Just normally by the time you're on the 4th quarter of the wing, you're starting to get
I'm getting tired.
tired, yeah. Need a little break. You
But-
gotta keep chugging now.
Yeah, you don't take a break with the wing half finished.
Nope, you'll have a wart bigger than anything.
Okay, I can relax now. I don't have to hurry. Got some bagging up there going on. Hopefully that'll come out. Oh yeah.
That's that tinted clear that you used in that stuff?
What?
That's that tinted clear that you used in there, the
Yeah.
amber?
Yeah.
That's that shrinking dope.
Yeah.
So that'll any little tidbits that you got in it will come out with that.
These aren't bad.
No, like it's still wet. I mean, pure dry, but it's still wet.
It'll be fine. It really doesn't start looking good till you got 3 coats of dope on it. It's all sanded out.
Yeah. Then you get to go over it with superfill. You got a tendency to rush, to do things when it comes to painting, and more so than I do, or I think it's pushing it a little bit, but
I've done it this way forever.
um,
Just how I do it.
like I wait longer at times than you do for certain steps. But
Tack it on there.
that's just me, that's how I was taught, and it's worked for me over the years, and everybody's got their own little thing that they do.
Pack it on there or get her done. Anyway, that's the time with us today, covering a wing, which I've showed over and over and over and over again. There's really not any need for another tutorial on how to cover a wing.
No, I would say not. Use that search function on the computer. It works, and you'll get more information than you absolutely can read or comprehend on just about any given subject.
Take it from somebody who knows how to build too. Al Rabe, Wendy, myself. I mean, don't just take it from anybody.
Yeah.
Joe Schmuck.
You got to be a little selective.
Because there's some horrid ways I see to do things on the internet. Does it work? I guess.
Yeah, that's debatable.
Yeah. Have to see the airplane up close.
I've seen horror stories of bad.
Anything looks good in a picture, but I'll give you my airplane and let you hold it in your hand and show you what it's supposed to look like. Come and hold this up for me.
Make the old man work.
Yeah, it's real tough. Wonder how many more airplanes I got left in me.
I don't know. Depends on if you can get materials or not.
Yeah, we're gonna make it materials. You balsa wood people are screwing yourself, because if I find something that's lighter and stronger, I'll never buy wood again. I like balsa wood, but there's no reason why we can't do like the Russians do. You know, they hot wire that pink foam and blue foam, and they're nice looking. I don't know how they fly, but
Yeah, that one guy was making them, and he was just taking half-ounce glass cloth over the foam and Bondo on top of that or whatever, and that was his airplanes. Just the blue foam core on everything, the fuselage, the wings.
yeah, I mean, nice looking compound hot wire job too.
Yeah, it was neat where heck, he even cut out a little compartment in the nose for the fuel tank to slide in. It was just exactly the size of the fuel tank, you know, so
Right.
it is, oh yeah, he did a heck of a job on that.
You
That's a-
European, I don't know if you're watching now, but Europeans really, they got it together really, I guess, because they don't have what we have here. I mean, they're limited on material, but pretty innovative. I'm impressed.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't consider the FAI any better than the AMA or got a little bit different rules.
Over, do the leading edge. The fa, the fi. Now we get sand it out. I see another hair. Yeah, I knew it was going to drop. I could see it dragging. What? Let's sand that off, I guess. Sando the bando. Or am I going the wrong way? Can't tell.
You might be catching the other part of the other side. I just don't have any dope on it. Let it dry.
Take a break and kill the stream, I guess. Take a break and have to do the rest of the thing. I'll do them off camera.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. This is sanded. Now you want to look at it real good. I sanded, there's a big bump in it right here, and I
Yeah.
sanded it out, but there's still a divot there, and I don't know whether that was a piece of super glue or something.
It'll be fine.
But it was a definite bump, and I knocked it down flat anyway, so.
It'll be fine.
I don't know if you wanted to put another coat on that.
Nah, just put some. I'll put the tissue on it. Go ahead.
If there's a run, we're gonna have to break out the Bondo and put on there and then sand it down until the Bondo disappears. Get the run out.
Yeah. It does work.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it on my airplane, but
You have to do whatever you have to do to get it out. Okay. What's this? Okay, time to add more thinner to that.
where's that knife at?
Huh?
Where's that knife? Is that a big hair right there, or what is that?
No, that's nothing. You're gonna get the push rod area? Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate any of the super chats, all the thumbs up. The members, make sure you join as a member. Mike Simon says, excellent work. Anyway, we'll see you when we return, maybe after lunch. Talk to you later. See ya.
Ah.